Hi friends, and welcome to your daily dose of Poverty Proof, how the rich think differently and how you can train your brain for wealth. I have some good news that kind of snuck up on me. Over the past few videos, we've been discussing ideas from a combination of this book, Poverty Proof, and a previous bestseller called Is Your Thinking Keeping You Poor? Now, of course, all around the world we've been stuck in lockdown, and as you'll recall from previous videos, Penguin asked me to write a book called Virus Proof Your Small Business. Now, that book interrupted what would have been book number 9 with Penguin, which in fact was the follow-up to Poverty Proof, titled Poverty Proof for Entrepreneurs. And I spent a couple of months speaking on that topic and doing webcasts and webinars and so on all around the world. Well, I had forgotten about the book that was put on hold, and it launches tomorrow. If you prefer ebooks, it will be delivered to your Kindle device tomorrow. If you like the physical book, and if you happen to spot one before I do, won't you please take a photo and tag me in it on social media. Today, however, we're talking about this one, Poverty Proof, 50 Ways to Train Your Brain for Wealth, and an orienting principle for new wealth builders. And this is a simple but clever way to get emotion out of the mix and to think clearly about your wealth building goals. I call it the fish and the list.
Declutter your emotions using the fish and the list. Do you recall the scene from The Matrix, in which Neo finds himself standing in an empty white space, waiting for the training program to load? It's like he's floating in a pure, white emptiness. Picture yourself in such a space. Now, I want you to imagine something appearing in front of you. It's a single page. The page has writing upon it in beautiful, old-fashioned cursive lettering. The headline on the page says, "Things I must do to grow wealthy." Beneath the headline, and slightly out of focus for now, are lines of text numbered from 1 to 50. Everything about this page is clean, crisp, and attractive. This page has all the answers that you need. All you have to do is follow the steps. Now, leave the page floating before your eyes within your imagination. Next to it, I want you to picture a dark green plastic bag. It's large, it's rumpled, and it's unattractive. It smells bad, and it's discordant in this pristine place. In your mind's eye, open the bag slightly. The hot, wafting scent hits you. It's full of old, dead fish, and their smell is offensive. You look into the bag and see that some of the fish have scales missing or shredded fins, and their eyes are grey and vacant, or missing altogether. Nevertheless, keep looking. On each fish, scratched in ugly letters, are short phrases. These phrases are the emotional things we tell ourselves about wealth. Pick them up and examine a few. On one fish is written, "I'm not clever enough." Toss it back into the bag. Pick up another, and you will see the phrase, "I'll never get there, so what's the point?" Beneath it is a fish with the words, "I come from a poor family." And right beside that, one that says, "I'm too dumb and too lazy." Another has, "I know it's not in my plan, but I have to have that new thing right now." There are some strange and contradictory messages as well. For example, there is one fish that says, "I'm not morally good enough to be rich," while the fish right beneath it says, "I'm a good person, so why am I poor?" As it turns out, both of these fish are wrong. Money does not respond to agonized emotion. Back to the fish. There's another with, "What if I try and people judge me?" Drop it back in the bag. Wipe your hands. Now, let go of the bag and zoom back. Look at the page and the bag together. Make them float beside one another in front of your vision. Everyone has a page, and everyone has a bag. The page is unemotional. It is clinical. It contains one thing and one thing only: the useful steps that you can take. These steps have no emotion built into them. They don't need emotion. They're just steps, to-do items, instructions, And if you follow them, they work perfectly. The bag, by contrast, is your enemy. It contains nothing but poison. Now take the bag and empty all of the fish right over the pristine white page. Watch the slopping fish pour off the page and onto the ground, smearing and obscuring the instructions, their browned juices running over the lines of beautiful text and turning everything to pulp. In my previous book, Is Your Thinking Keeping You Poor?, I point out that wealth does not respond to emotions. Wealth also does not respond to how good or how bad you are. Wealth responds to one thing and one thing only: wealth-generating activities. If you do the steps that make you wealthy, you will become wealthy, regardless of emotions. But if you focus on the emotions, you may never do the steps, and then you will stay poor. The more I engage with entrepreneurs and career builders who are sincerely trying to move forward, the more firmly I believe that emotions, and specifically fear, are their worst enemies. We are overwhelmed by fear. As a species, we seem to stew in it. We speak it over our lives, and we view our world through its crippling lens. Fear causes paralysis. Fear stops you from acting. Fear clogs up everything. It makes you unwilling to try things because you are terrified you might get it wrong. Later, we will see that getting it wrong is actually okay. It's much better than not acting. The interesting thing is, escaping poverty and generating wealth has nothing whatsoever to do with fear, nor even with emotions generally. There's no link. Generating wealth has to do with taking constructive steps, and that's it. Emotions only ever make things worse. Here is another fishy thing that we do, and it impacts upon our personal discipline. We tend to check our emotional thermometer throughout the day. The best thing that wealth builders can do is to clarify which steps they must take throughout the day, then take them. One of the worst things they can do is continually check in with themselves to see how they are feeling. There's no upside to it, and there's plenty of potential downside. If you're feeling a little sad, blue, dejected, out of sorts, or any other less than perfectly aligned calibration, you may then self-sabotage. I'll take the rest of the day off. Maybe I'll feel like it tomorrow. That's the fish again. That's feelings. That's poverty behavior. Oh, and how about the idea that it's mean-spirited to tell poor people that marriage and hard work can change their lives? That's an emotional response. It is contrary to the truth. That makes it a fish, and an odious one. It needs to go. As political commentator and author Ben Shapiro often says, facts don't care about your feelings. He's right. We need to replace self-defeating emotional fish with truthful, simple steps. Later, we will discuss some very basic ideas about investing your money. Many people become frenetic about investing as they try to hack the latest fads and land the latest hot deal. It's the worst thing they can possibly do. The best thing they can do is to switch off their emotions entirely and forget that they even have investments. Just let them tick over in the background. No emotion, just better results. Emotions and money make a terrible combination. Simple, clean, unemotional actions are far superior. For this reason, I want the image of the page and the fish to become embedded in your thinking. I'd like you to share the analogy with friends or family members that you trust. When you catch yourself feeling a mess of confusing emotions regarding money, it'll never work, I can't do it, I'm too stupid, I want you to remember and to picture that bag of fish. The image is intentionally repulsive. Then I want you to say to yourself, I'm staring at the fish again. I'm looking at the wrong thing. At this point, I want you to remember that it's the instructions that matter, the steps. Find out what steps you need to take. Read until you discover them. Then take them. Taking them is all that matters. Throw the fish away. You only ever need one thing, the next constructive step. To agonize emotionally over this is to do it wrong. To educate yourself about the next clean step is the goal, ever and always. Now picture a broom. See it sweeping the fish off the floor and into the plastic bag. Chuck the ruined list into the bag as well, tie it shut, and throw the whole messy package away. And lo, a new list appears. Once again, it is clean, pristine, ordered, and beautiful, and it has no emotions connected to it. It's just a list of steps, and that's the picture we want to set before our eyes. Becoming wealthy is not endlessly agonizing. Becoming wealthy is just taking steps.
Each weekday, I'll provide you with a new concept as you learn to poverty-proof your life and train your brain for wealth. However, if you'd like to do poverty-proof as a course, it is now available from futureselfacademy.com. It's a brilliant concept. They take the book, break it up into modules, and you get both the ebook and the accompanying videos in which I guide you through the concepts. You write mini quizzes, and at the end, you get a certificate of completion. Check it out at futureselfacademy.com.